Hey friends, it's Nitya with Karma Chameleon, bringing you all things feng shui and Bazi Chinese Astrology. We look at the charts of celebrities and famous people as a way to better understand our own charts and our own lives. Welcome, welcome. I'm just starting week 2 of summer yoga camp. So happy that I have time and a little bit of energy at the end of a very long day to sit with you. I saw in the news that Heather Locklear has been acting erratic, and it made me think of Cara Delevingne. It also made me think of Britney Spears. And, you know, mental health is a crisis in this country. Everybody's got a theory, I'm sure, billions of ideas. And I keep coming back to what I said about Madonna, the video I recently posted, that, you know, the lifestyle that we are supposed to be in, I guess, here in the United States. I don't know how it is in the other parts of this world. It's very intense, very stressful, very demanding. And the setup is, you know, from the time you get out into the world, is that you're supposed to go, do, and produce and be everything. It is a setup for mental health issues because we often are not given the space or the safe container in which to process all that we're going through in our lives. And when you're a celebrity or someone in the a public figure, it's like you're under a microscope. Now, Heather Locklear, I think of more for the 90s, Melrose Place. I don't know if she was in Baywatch. I didn't do a lot of background on her. Sometimes, like I've said before, I really almost prefer to not know. I think sometimes, you know, when you look too far into somebody, it can sway some of the information that you're looking at. And I really like seeing the core chart and sharing that with you. And then if you know something and want to put it in the comments, feel free. Please subscribe and follow if Bazi Chinese Astrology and Feng Shui are topics that you're really interested in. I always keep it real. Always keeping it real. All right, so this little darling was born September 25th, 1961 at 1640. We're backing it up by an hour for daylight savings time. Pay attention to this one, friends. It's a interesting one. She's born the year of a yin metal ox, the month of yin fire rooster, which we know as yin metal, and the day of yin metal rooster again. And then we have the hour of yang fire monkey. So lots of things happening in here. Let's just begin with metal. Holy cow. It's been a while since I've seen somebody with a day master element this strong, 75%, give or take. That is really wrapped up in your world. And I talk about this, it keeps showing up. And it's interesting as we do these charts of celebrities that we begin to see the patterns. And it does make my mind go to the place of, if you are drawn to celebrity, if you are drawn to being an actor, a musician, you know, somebody that's going to be a public person, does it almost beg that the person have a very big sense of self? That's an interesting one, isn't it? So, yeah, and, you know, everywhere she looks, it's a reflection of herself, which is what we can really say about our reality anyway. It's all a mirror. But for somebody with an inflated self element like this takes it to a whole nother level. and many, many charts, Kanye West, Donald Trump, Kim Kardashian. I mean, a list goes on. So many of the charts that I have read on this channel show celebrities with really big self elements. And you can get kind of stuck in your head, and the world really revolves around you. It's all the Heather show. In her world, it's very wrapped up in her head. What supports and nourishes her is weak, 9% earth. What she produces, what is her child element, water, is very weak at 6%. There is no wood in this chart. I don't have wood in my chart. It's not the most uncommon thing to have a missing element. What it does say is that when you have weak elements, you are more susceptible to those organs and systems of the body having trouble. For instance, no wood suggests somebody that has a propensity towards liver and spleen illness, which is a screaming red flag to not be an alcoholic or to drink a lot. The water element being weak suggests somebody that the sex organs, the bladder, those are weak organs susceptible to illness. You've got weak earth, leaving her immune system, muscles, bone. And fire, which is mental health, circulation, the heart, is balanced at 21%. Now, the interesting thing with that is here we have someone in a mental health crisis who has drug addiction, and her friends are greatly concerned. I don't know if you've seen the recent videos. They're very disturbing. And it makes my heart hurt for her. I can't imagine being in a mental health crisis, having it videotaped by paparazzi and posted all over the internet for everyone to poke fingers at, make fun of, whatever. And so, in this moment, to just take a pause and send out a prayer to her and to others that are struggling with mental health, and especially in relation to addiction, that she find her way to healing. And I think I saw she's been in rehab like over 20 times or something. I mean, that's really, really sad. I don't know where the addiction comes from. Her father shows up as a challenge to her, yin fire. This could have been a very problematic, challenged relationship, somebody that was very harsh and critical. Her mother is just like her partner or lovers in life, is a partner and a friend. And also grandparents and uncles. I mean, even her grandmother and aunts, there is a seed kernel of yin metal. There is so much of her supplanted in this chart that is coming through in a lot of her relationships. But her father seems to be one that really stands out. The other place that we see metal is in her hour of the monkey, which is yang metal. And again, another pattern I'm seeing is this is the yang to her yin. It is where you see her wanting to play out roles, to try on different faces and personas, which really is speaking to somebody that is an actor. And we have seen this come up in countless charts. So these are all interesting pieces. With her career, we also see that she could possibly find her love of her life, her husband, her boyfriend, through her work. Her work is something that she takes clear responsibility for. She has a strong work ethic. She is born in the year of the ox, after all, and ox people are very strong people. They are resilient. These are very tough people. and born on the day of double yin metal. This is like, Russell Brand just did his chart as yin metal. It's a very sparkly, very beautiful person. And she certainly is. And so you've got here this double yin metal right there in her day. So I know that she has a daughter, and the daughter again shows up as that yang to her yin. It's a relationship where they are showing each other different sides of one another, and that can be uncomfortable. It can also be an area for growth. Okay. Within her career, there is also a bit of a rebellion, smarts, intuitive. Yeah. Oh, I know the other thing I was going to say, being the day of the rooster with the ox. This is somebody very strong working, hardworking, great work ethic. Definitely roosters are flamboyant. They are great dressers, great style. God, you remember her hair in the 90s and 80s. And she also loves to be seen and heard. After all, the rooster is here to sing their song, to be seen, and to flaunt all their beauty. Now, this is an interesting chart because it's not a dominant chart, even with 75% plus minus of her own element. It is not a follow self chart either, because there is fire, which is the enemy or the opposite element to metal. If there were no fire, this would definitely be a dominant chart. That would be a follow self chart if there wasn't yin metal in the stems of the two roosters and the ox. So it's just a very overinflated, very out of balance chart. That being said, as far as when we look at, she has a low shoe chart, which shows, and this is both her month and her day. This is a chart for wealth. She, no matter what she would have done in her life, she was destined to be wealthy, except, and we've seen this come up also, it's discounted by the sheer fact that she has so much of her own element. So it's interesting when you see that. There's also the double rooster, which suggests a self-punishment, somebody that really has a negative voice in their head. I'm no good. I can't do this. Old patterns of thinking. For instance, let's say if her father had been verbally abusive and was telling her things that she is still playing out in her head. That is a tough one. I think we all have an inner critic, an inner judge, because we know our faults. And some of them really aren't, though. They're faults that were created by maybe our parents or a sibling, or even a toxic work environment that went on for too long, too many years, and you just started to take somebody else's narrative of you and made it your own. Until one day you realize, wait a minute, that isn't the voice in my head. That's not me. I can do this. I am capable. I am worth this, whatever. There is a semi-seasonal metal trio of both roosters and the monkey. A semi-traditional trio of metal with the roosters and the ox. This whole chart really just screams metal. So then I wanted to see what specifically could be going on for her that has penalized her this year, that has set her up well. As some of you have already noted in comments of other videos, she's born in the year or the day and the month of the rooster. The rooster and the rabbit for 2023 is a direct hit. This is scissors cutting down the flowers, cutting all the roses off the rose bush. This is, the rooster is the great challenge to the rabbit. And so this hitting her day pillar is dangerous to her overall well-being and also to her romantic relationship. You know, when you look at a chart like this, what is always, there's a safety animal, let's call it, every year for the most afflicted animal. The most afflicted animal of 2023 is the rooster. So it's suggested to keep a dog talisman on your keychain, by your bedside, everywhere you go, maybe in the left pocket. The left is the side of receiving, right? So that the dog interferes with the rabbit and the rooster so that they're not harming each other, kind of is a mitigator in between. Okay, so if you are somebody born, especially the day of the rooster, I would get a dog talisman from like the Feng Shui Mall is a great website. So more and more, I looked at her life pillar. Why is she here? She is here to be a mother. And her relationship with her mother is the most important. And all her mother figures, people who have played mother-like roles to her. Her daughter is the other person. This is one, like literally incarnated to have these relationships with her mom and mother figures and her daughter. This is a life that is about compassion, patience, kindness. It's also about facing legal challenges and how she deals with it. It's a life that is about how she finds joy in the things that she does, how she recognizes the blessings of her life, and ultimately what she creates. That is the rat. It is a yang earth rat. And so we take the rat, and you might be thinking, but where does the rat combine? The rat combines with her ox to make a seasonal water trio. This is a hidden component. And it also combines with her monkey to create a traditional semi-water trio. And so what this shows me is this woman has hidden reserves of output. This is fabulous. Because it's almost like if you've got somebody with so much metal, it's like a valve has been released to let some of this out, and it's secret. It's not obvious, okay? Almost like if there was a container with a crack at the bottom you didn't see, and there's things leaking out. Now, usually you would say, oh no, it's emptying. But no, in this case, this is a good thing. This shows that despite the fact that she is so full of herself, there is this constant hidden flow of energy motivating her to be productive. That is a good thing. The year 2023 rabbit exactly mirrors her current luck cycle of a yin water rabbit. And so her daughter, which shows up as yin water, is very strong in her life this year. And her father, if he's around, there is indirect income flowing in. There's also a caution to her health. Well, yeah, because two things now are happening. We've got a luck cycle of the rabbit, a year of the rabbit, which is amplifying as she is coming out, this was a luck cycle started in 2015 from ages 54 to 63. She is coming into the last years of this luck cycle that has pounded her. Romantic relationships, her well-being, her sovereignty has all been under attack. In addition to being under attack within herself with a self-punishment. In addition to having the hidden penalty of the rat rabbit from her luck cycle to her life pillar to this year 2023, suggesting very strange relationships, hidden weird stuff, like a hidden disease, a hidden illness that comes out. And that's what we're seeing. And then I was curious, well, if she survives, seriously, it's that dangerous. She is under so many levels of attack from all different directions. When she reaches 2025, the age 64 to 73, she'll move into a Yang Wood dragon. This is going to be the beginning of 20 years in void. Void is going to challenge her money, her property. It's going to challenge herself as a mother. It's also going to challenge in some ways her relationship with her daughter. Voids really do bring us into a shadow time of deep excavating of whatever it is that's being illuminated, like the things I just mentioned, but for sure, her money, her finances may really take a hit in the next 20 years. All right, so last bits. I did want to mention that this woman in her work is somebody, again, who seeks fame, and is destined really to be famous and to have wealth. And really she is a survivor if she can survive this. And truly, this is a great, great challenge to her. She can be manipulative. She can come out kicking and screaming. She will fight to the end, even if she's in the wrong. She has a wild sense of desire and adventure and chasing after whatever it is that she's in the moment to have. And her career falling with a monkey shows somebody that likes to play different roles, have different things going on. She gets bored easily in her work. This is somebody, again, who has a really good work ethic, but also has her head in the clouds. Can be very idealistic, very dreamy, a dreamy kind of headspace. And with that is somebody that's likely to marry more than once, have a pretty spicy sex life, and also that has this really consistent flow in and out of income. So all of these things, but ultimately this is a chart that shows somebody that is going through a really difficult time. And again, my prayers go out to her and her family that she can find health and the support that she so rightly deserves and needs at this now time. Just like with Cara Delevingne, I was so relieved after I posted that video that intervention happened and she turned herself around. Her story that she did with Vogue was really inspiring. Let's hope that Heather Locklear has a similar outcome of rising up from the claws of addiction and finding herself in the midst of a great tumultuous time in her astrology. Thanks so much, friends, and be well.